We're back at BioEurope's spring session for 2016 here in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sten Stovall of Informa Pharma Insights, also editor and writer for our publications, Script, The Pink Sheet, and In Vivo. And I'm joined by the CSO of 4SC, Daniel Vitt. Thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
I'd like to discuss your business model. You are a German cancer drug developer, and you raised 29 million euros not too long ago for your efforts. What's that money being used for?
Yeah, first of all, I think what we did last year when we raised the 29 million, I think we've really decided to focus ourselves on epigenetic therapies, and we have two assets which are really most advanced in that area. And one is resminostat, an HDAC inhibitor, which we want to progress towards market approval in the indication CTCL in Europe.
It's been in phase 2 trials?
Well, yeah, it's ongoing in a couple of phase 2 trials. We have some partners already in the global market, so we have a licensee in Japan for resminostat. Yakult Honsha is doing phase 2 trials in liver cancer, for example. And in parallel now we are initiating this phase 2 trial here in Europe in CTCL with the goal to get conditional approval with the data. We expect then in maybe 2019.
What makes that science special?
I think epigenetics has experienced quite substantial changes in the last year, and I think in particular last 2 years we have recognized that epigenetic regulation of cancer cells and also of the immune system is very important. And that brings me to our second compound, 4C202, where 2 weeks ago we just reported very interesting new data regarding the influence of 4C202 on the immune system, and in particular on the tumor microenvironment. And we think that epigenetics is really going in that direction now in the field of oncology.
And that was the results of phase 2 trialing as well?
No, I think we just completed a phase 1 trial for 202 and now preparing phase 2 trials for this molecule. And now the billion-dollar question is, what is the right indication and what is the right concept for that? And we strongly believe that boosting the immune system is very important per se for therapies like 202 or resminostat. But I think the beauty comes into place if we have synergies between, for example, immuno-oncology drugs like checkpoint inhibitors, PD-1 inhibitors, and monotherapy effects on the tumor microenvironment we have seen with 202, for example.
How would you see your regulatory pathway unfolding for your lead asset and then 202?
Good question. So lead asset, I think we pretty much see the commercial window of opportunity in Europe. There's not yet any HDAC inhibitor approved in Europe for the treatment of CTCL. So this is a window of opportunity we see for the next years to come. So that's why we think this niche is underserved, and resminostat as a best-in-class HDAC inhibitor has a high potential to serve that.
Do you envision partnering with anyone with this?
Yes, I mentioned we have for resminostat we have 2 partners in place. So in addition to Yakult Honsha, we also have a partnership with Menarini Group for Asian Pacific region, excluding Japan. And we think partnering for resminostat will depend on further phase 2 data. We will either get from our partners or from our own studies.
How would you describe your business model in general?
Well, our business model generally is really to develop and license and partner our compounds. So really driving innovations from scratch, so from discovery stage to advanced development stage, and then to find the right partner for everyone.
And you own the IP for this?
And we own all the IP. I think that's important. It's an IP-based business, and we think it's really important to have a strong IP position and strong protection.
Do you have any M&A aspirations going forward?
Well, who has not? So I think it's something where we are also careful, but what we know is that as a European company based in Germany, we are always thinking about how to access more the US in particular, and capital markets in the US. We have some US investors within our company, but we think to have a bigger footprint in the USA would be beneficial, but it's not a defined strategy to do M&A in that way. Okay. But we are a little bit open-minded if something happens in that area.
Okay, well, good luck, Daniel.